Alright, so this tutorial is about topology. You're not going to be learning texturing, you're not going to be learning how to add materials or portals or rooms, any of that shit. It's all about modeling a really good interior that's, well, flawless, right? I'm talking about geometry. First off, you need a door, and you can just fly in one of those buildings that has interiors, find the door that you plan on using for your shell, select it, select the name of it, go to RPF Explorer, search for the name, right click, export to XML. I already have it. I do not need the textures. All I need is the door, the geometry for the door. And that's pretty much all you need from CodeWalker. You need a vanilla door, and as I explained, so when you done created a topology, the rooms, the layout, you know exactly that a door that you selected that you want to use is gonna perfectly fit the shell. So we're done here. Next thing you want to do is find yourself go to images.google.com, search for simple interior floor plans, find an image that, I don't know, you like it more or less, and go with whatever they give you. All right. Fuck, I forgot to. Which one is it? Right here. So the moment you find the one that you want, like this is the room layout that I want, like a few meeting rooms, few offices, reception, waiting, break room, whatever you want the interior to be. So right click on it and then open image, a new tab, and save your image right here. I already have it on my hard drive, so we're done that too. You have the image on your hard drive right here. Next thing you want to do is duplicate this image because you're going to be needing a new one. You need a unaltered one just to as a backup. Make a copy. Right click, edit, open the good old notepad in here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to retrace the room layout so the walls are even. As you can see, the walls in here, this was supposed to be a window outside, but since we have not picked and we have zero interest right now on picking out an exterior, all we want to be working on is the interior layout. So we do not need windows, we do not need the stairs, we do not need outside access. Let's treat this one as a teleporting interior. Not the kind of stuff that you walk in, but the kind of stuff that you teleport in. All right. So then you go to select the edge, select the what the fuck is called the pencil or the edge, size, extra, make the color red. We're gonna be drawing red over the black because we're gonna be eliminating the black color, and then we're gonna revert. Basically, we try to visually distinguish between the old colors and the new colors. All right, that's pretty much all there is to it. And outline. Okay, so this is what we need. What? Solid color. All right. Then the moment you have the plan, you're looking at the plan, you kind of need to know exactly, do you want to merge a waiting room with a reception? Because Right now we have no reason to separate those. Plus this is like a hallway access, and then looks like there's also a door in here. So it doesn't make much sense as in game to have that kind of topology. So we will be redefining some of this stuff. So let's start drawing. Again, you gotta be kind of precise on what you're doing when you draw this, because you need to be, the lines needs to be straight. So here we go. So I'm holding shift, and adding stuff in here. So this edge is not supposed to be like that. All right. So this is extra here. We do not this. We do not need that. We do not need this one and this one. Let's create another one in here. And now let's do white boxes. So we cut the delimiters for the doors. Fill like that. Let's eliminate this. Maybe it's too much. Looks like I'm bad at paint. Yeah, I cannot select the pixel that I want. There you go. More or less. Like that. Also here. Let's clean it up a little bit. And the interior. And that's almost done. This part of the process. All right. Actually, two doors in here. Another one in here. So we do not need this either. So door. door, 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 door. Right, so this is the basic layouts for what we're trying to do. Save it. Now close it. Open it. This is a free program for view. It's a portable piece of software. You can get it for free. You just search for it. Go to image. Convert. Replace color. Hold shift. Select the black. And turn it white. Like so. So you kind of understand right now why I did what I've done. Everything looks a lot cleaner now, and we have. So this is going to be the placeholders for the doors that we're going to be adding into our topology. And click OK. Save your image once more. Cleaned. So just clean and close it. We have. This is the image we're going to be using. Next thing that I need, of course, is Blender with Solums and a plugin that most likely you already have it installed. You just have to activate it. It's called Import Images as Planes. Enable it if it's disabled for you. Then go to Add Image, Image as Planes. Go to where your image is, the cleaned one. Hold Alt and move the middle, use the middle mouse to shift to top view. If only Blender will fucking let me do it. And then press number 5 on the numpad if you have a full-size keyboard. And that way you're going to be switching to top orthographic view. Make sure you are, I fucking forgot to close this and add it on the new properties. And switch to shaded so you see the textures. This is supposed to spawn, well, be created right smack in the middle. We will be creating a new plane, and we will start creating the walls for the whole thing. So image, then add mesh plane. I think it needs to be about 40 meters. You will shortly see why. Next, if you remember, I said that you're going to be needing a door, and you have to have the XML that you should have exported from RPF Explorer. So go to Solums, General, Import, go to where the door is, and import it into the scene. And we're going to be renaming plane interior. Image, is the background, and the door, we're just going to leave it in the way it is. But we will need to resize the image. Again, go back to top view. We need to resize this plane that has the image to fit the door size. So with the image selected, move the mouse over the 3D view, press S on the keyboard and size it. Then kind of move the plane, the interior down, press SZ and hold shift so you can move it like below the G, not S. So select the plane, move the mouse over the 3D view, press G and Z. And so the image does not overlap the plane, which is the interior now. That way we can see exactly where our stuff is. Select the door, right click, select hierarchy, move it into what's supposed to be the gap where the walls are supposed to be, like kind of right there. Select the image, press S to make it slightly smaller, and you need to match this gap right here with the door. So move the door so you can give yourself some more. So now it's a bit too small. Just resize it, make it a little bigger. You really need to be precise this one, because otherwise you're going to be creating the walls and the door is going to be either too loose or too tight. So be aware of that. Of course, you can adjust it later, but why give yourself more work later on? All right, so that's pretty much it. This is the door is the decision factor on how thick the walls are, and the gap through which the player will go through inside the room. So that's why this whole thing that has to happen in a certain way. We now have decided where the door is, how big the interior needs to be to have all those rooms, and have the door in exactly the position that we need it to be. Right, let's move on. We can now resize the what's supposed to be the shell right now. So S, we're gonna be, let me hide the fucking cursor and the guides. And we know the red is X, and the white, that's 90 degrees from it, it's the Y axis. So SY, and I think we're happy right here. Next thing that we want to do is to loop cut this whole thing. So we have limiters, delimiters for the rooms. So we're gonna select the interior. Just call it. Cut this into rooms. So keep an eye on this one, because everything else is pretty much done. The plan, the image, and the door positioning is done. And the only thing we're going to be working on is this piece of geometry, the shell, right? What's going to be the shell? Save your work. Now, let's look at what we're going to be doing in here for a second. How many lines we have in the vertical plane, right? You don't have to do it this way, but this is the way I do it, and I have great success with it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to be splitting this plane into 6 segments. Press Ctrl R, make sure you're in edit mode, press tab or select edit mode. Ctrl R. As you move the mouse over the center of the face, that will tell you, you can use the scroll wheel. You can see right here at the bottom where it says number of cuts, 8. That's how many I'm going to be creating. Just double click on this area, and now I'm going to be moving the edges to match where the walls are. I'm going to be starting from save. I'm going to be starting from the right side in here. So again, I'm an orthographic top view. I have to repeat, I'm going to be holding Alt and middle mouse, and you have to press number 5 if you have a numpad keyboard. That will switch to orthographic. So let's move the edges close to where the walls needs to be. If moves too fast, just hold Shift. It will let you precisely position it. So zoom out. Go in with the next one, which is going to be this one. Then the next one is going to be this one. Next one is going to be this one. The last one, I created extra. I do not need it. Press Ctrl X to dissolve it. Save your work. Now switch this scene around 90 degrees. What was the vertical lines are not the horizontal lines. And let's count the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it looks those are completely different new stuff. So press Ctrl R. We said we have 10. We're going to create in 11. Use the scroll wheel to create your stuff. 10. Look at the bottom left where it says number of cuts, 11. Double click. Hold Alt and select the edge and start moving it close to where it needs to be. Hold Shift, it moves too fast. And we gotta move this out of the way so we can use the second edge to where it needs to be, right here. We're gonna move this one out of the way. Take the third line, move it here, go back to the edge that you moved, move it back to where the walls needs to be created, right here. This is extra. Move this edge right like that. Now every single red edge has its own cut. This is very important. So what we have now left to do is move the door for every single gap, so we know exactly where to create the cut, because we're gonna have to create additional cuts for the door, where the door is. So this one doesn't have a door, this one does not have a door, as in vertical plane. It's gonna be in a horizontal, but we will switch the scene and we'll position the door appropriately. So select the door, get out of edit mode, select the door, right click, select hierarchy, and press Shift D. Again, this is Y axis and this is Z axis. So you press Shift D and then press G and X. So we move the door on the X axis. Kind of put it in the center of the gap, right? Zoom out, see exactly if you need another door on this plane. You do right here. So press Shift D, G, and X. Zoom in so you know exactly where the door is, like so. And we have how many other doors? One in here, one in here. That's on the same plane. So Shift D, G, and freehand position it right where the gap is. And Shift D, G, X. Like so. Now we need 1, 2, 3 extra doors in here. So with this door selected, Shift D, X, kind of put it in the center, and then press R and Z. So you rotate it on the Z axis, hold Control, so we'll snap every 5 degrees, and let go, and we should say in here 90 degrees when you, if you've done it right. Then freehand position it like right that. And Shift D, G, and Y, because we're right now moving on the Y axis. And Shift D, G, X, and then move it up. Like so. We now have doors for every single piece of what's supposed to be the shell, which is not a shell yet, but it will become. Select your shell and go to edit mode. Now you need to understand that we have to bevel this edge that's part of the wall where the door is going to be. So that's how you create create the walls. Actually, let's just inset. We're going to be using inset. We're not going to be beveling this. So if at this stage right now, the only thing that's left to do is kind of clean up the edges, so you have a better understanding on how good this is going to be down the road. So press number 2, make sure you're in edit mode, select edge, actually select vertices. Let's join those vertices right in the corner. So hold, select the first in the corner, hold shift, select the second one, press J to join the vertices, repeat. in exactly the same order as I do. All right. Now let's clean up the edges that we do not need. This is very important because the moment we start insetting, we'll create additional geometry we do not need. We have no use for it. So now press number 2, select the edge, and start cleaning up the edges. So you hold shift, you select different edges in here. Press Ctrl X to dissolve. So what you want to do is to clean out the edges that are not part of the room itself. And what I mean by that is, you see this edge in here. If I have to hide it, the way I hide it's Alt, Shift, and Z. It will make it disappear. So I'm selecting this edge in here, but it's not part of the room as in creating something. It's just because I need a cut for this wall in here. So we need to remove that. If you've done a good job at painting this red, that will tell you which one is part of the wall, which one is not. So I'm holding Shift, Control X. And slowly cleaning up the geometry in here. So only the edges that do not contribute to the wall as internal or external wall. Sometimes you have to create additional edges just so you can clean it better without destroying the topology. I think we're gonna leave that one over there so we can keep going. So this may be the last one. Yeah. So what you're looking at right now, this is the perfect cut, as in how you structure the topology without creating mindlessly subdividing and creating cuts and all that stuff. This is how you do it. Let me make sure that this is not going to break when I'm going to be insetting. All right, so right now we are selecting edges, actually vertices, and go to face select and select every single one of those that are supposed to be rooms, like that. And then press I to inset and kind of move it just a little bit, and whoa, was way too much. If you move it too much like I've done, press Ctrl Z, it will undo. So do it again. I inset on the inset faces, select individual. It's very important. So right now you have created the rooms floors in that sense. All right. Save. We have 2 extra edges in here to clean up. So go back to edge mode. Select the 2 edges in here. This, and this, because this by itself is going to be a whole room. Control X. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, maybe just those 2 right here. Of course, if you really want to go that way, you can keep adding cuts in here, another vertex and all that stuff. All right. So we now created this stuff in here. Once again, go to face select mode, select the interior faces that are not going to be the room. Ignore that for a second. We'll merge. We'll merge them. Probably I should have done it later, not now, but it is what it is. And press with those faces selected, press Ctrl I to invert, and then hold Shift and select the outside faces. So we now have selected what are supposed to be the walls, all right? Like that. Then press E and Z to extrude on the Z axis. E and Z, and move it up. And as you move it up, hold Control and move the mouse over the corner where the door is. The snap screen should look exactly like this. Let me show it again, right here. So we now have created the walls for the whole thing, and is as high as the door. So that's why it's important you have the doors in there, because you just matched the height of the door for every single room. So let's do that again, because the ceiling is not, it's almost never as tall as the door. So we're going to be going another, so we went 2.5 meters up. We're going to go up another 4 meters, right? So press E to extrude and Z, and we can go 4 meters, like 4.0. Now it's time to get out of orthographic view. Press number 5 on the numpad on the keyboard, and you can pretty much see what the whole thing looks like right here. Of course, we're going to be cleaning up the geometry, so you have the gaps for the doors. But that's pretty much what's going on. That's where we are. Next, we're going to be selecting the normals facing this direction, but only that's part of the walls. And then we're going to move it inward to match the width of the door. So select those faces. This is very easy to do if you followed all along and you haven't skipped any of the steps, and you actually managed to get this far, as in So we do not need this one. This is the right thickness. Also, we do not have a door on this, so we're good. So those, you can see in here, faces, 20. That's how many you should have on your side if you've done it right the way I did it. Then zoom in. If it looks too weird, make sure this is at 25 millimeters. So you have a little bit of a bird's eye view. So with this faces still selected, we got a tiny faces in here, tiny cuts. Double check everything, because otherwise you're going to have to go back and then move. You're not going to be able to move faces, you'll have to move edges. So with those 22 faces selected, move it inwards to where the kind of have to eyeball it. Blender will not, let's see if actually does. It does. So if the snapping screen looks exactly the way it looks, you can just use the arrows, hold Control, and snap it to the corner of the door. So that's one way. Let's move it the other way. This. And move it to where the corner is. Like so. So this is how thick the walls are, or better said, how thick the door is. You can make it thicker later on if you want to, but right now we just try to perfectly fit the door. So you need to learn how to do that, and then the moment you get good at it, you can just do whatever the hell you want. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life, but that's the process of perfectly matching the thickness of the door. So we do not care about those walls, or let's match it so you have the sense of job well done, as in matching the walls. Again, and remember we have a door in here. It's not visible because the walls are covering it. But we will let's resize those two, like so. Then take the x-axis, x here, and move it to the corner of the door right here, and then move it the other way. This. I messed up something right here. All right, we're good. So we're going to be snapping to the corner of this door right here. Like that. As you can see, the doors everywhere from every single angle is visible. I think those two doors are not aligned to each other, but it doesn't matter because we have the perfect alignment, as in is not. In other words, we know where the door is, and we know that we aligned after a certain door. That means the wall thickness is consistent. And that's pretty much the most important thing in here, that the wall thickness is consistent and the door will fit. Even if it's at the middle of the wall, it doesn't matter, as long, it doesn't matter as in how thick the walls are gonna be, because we already used only one door. Yeah, I think that's the proper way to word it. When you align on X or Y, only you have to use the same door on both axes. So two different doors, but use the same door as in for each axis. That way you have consistent wall thickness. All right, kind of running my mouth for no reason. We did that. Let's cut the walls, and we can create the gaps for the doors. So we select the walls that's going to be part of the entrance in here, and we're going to press Shift and H. That will hide everything except for what's selected and what's not part of that geometry. That means we'll hide all those walls except the doors. All right, so Shift H, and you kind of see how the stuff lays out in here. So with that selected, press Control R to add a new edge and snap it to the corner of the door, and repeat in here, snap it to the corner of the door. And the next cut is gonna go for, we're not gonna snap it to the door because we do not see it from this side. We're gonna snap it to the edge that we already created. So Control R, hold Control, and we'll snap to that. Control R, and hold Control. Now, if we press number 3, select those faces, and this face in here, press Delete. Guess what happened if we have to hide this door? So what I've done is with cut this into this room geometry, I press Tab to get out of edit mode so I can see the door, and then I select the door that's gonna be 004 and hide it. So you can see that this is a perfect cut for what we're trying to do. And this is how you know a shell is well done: when the bottom has separators. If you do not have separators right here, you can see the doors. That means you have to work on your topology because your stuff is not properly cut. And we're not done with this one, so I'm going to explain stuff how things as things happen, because there is no reason to go into details right now about the gaps at the bottom. So we are in orthographic view. Press number 5 to go to bird eye view. We go back to the geometry that we cut the door out of. We select number 2. We're in edit mode right now. Select those faces right here and press F. That will merge those faces. It will create additional geometry for the face F, like that. So pretty much this is what you have to do for every single door. All right. So right now you only see the faces for this particular piece. So hold Alt and press H to unhide. So you now see the other stuff. And let's repeat the process with the other door. I'm not going to be talking. I'm just going to be doing it for every single one of them. And because it's just going to be mindlessly repetitive. And all you have to do is just watch and pause it when you're done, or whatever, if you want to follow. All right, that's how long it took to cut 7 doors, or whatever we had in here. 2, 3, 6, 7. Yep, 7 doors. Let's remove the polygons, the faces that are covering the doors. Number 3, select face. All right, let's hide the doors, see exactly which one was not cleaned up. And looks like we cleaned up everything. There's holes for every single one of them. All right, so one more thing we gotta do in here. Well, it's multiple things, but main thing is to create faces. So 2, 2. So hold, you can select one edge, hold Alt, that will loop select the whole thing, and then hold Alt, Shift, and click the other one, and we'll select a additional edge loop. And then if you do not have my toolbar, just go get it. Bridge edge loops right here. You can also do it from right here. My toolbar is for free. You can get it on my Discord. Seems like we have an issue in here where the door is not. We'll fix it. I'm glad it happened, so we can fix it. And keep going. Or maybe it's because of the bird eye view or fisheye. So right now we already created the faces previously, and we only have the bottom. So with this edge and this edge selected, hold shift, select both of them, and then press F, double join them. Double check everything. It's very easy to forget to close them. Closed, 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 closed. Perfect. Right on. So let's delete additional faces we do not need and we will never use. Select those all around. Faces. So we are at almost 1 hour. So 1 hour we managed to create 3. Actually, we have to merge those because this is a room. So select those 4 faces, press delete, face, and the top. Then select the edge where the gap is, number 2 on the keyboard. Press F, hold shift, press Alt, hold Alt and click on the edge here where the triangle is and press F to fill. F stands for fill. And repeat right here. Shift F, Shift F, and Shift F. Alt F. Repeat the process in here. Additionally, we can move this edge towards this corner right here, so it's the corner doesn't look round. So we can do GY and move the mouse over the corner and then press hold shift, select the edges and press F. I'm not sure, yeah, I created the right ones. So create, close the edge in there, join the vertices, J. Number 2, select edges, F, Z. Or numpads, so numpad dot, double zoom to selection, F, F. This is closed. So that's exactly how you create a high quality topology for your interior. Additionally, let's move those edges just like we did on the other corner. Move it to match this edge in here so it's perfectly 90 degrees, like so. Then we can select this edge in here minus the floor and press Ctrl X and repeat on the other side. Now we kind of done. If you want to go extra anal about optimization, because right now the whole shell right here, it's 738 faces. The way you display that, you go to this area right here and text default statistics. I could probably take this down to 400 and 450 triangles if I have to anally go over every single piece of every face in here and clean up the cuts. So for example, right here, I have selected 4 edges. So there is no reason for this edge, the top edge, to be here. It doesn't help the geometry in that way. And I'll exemplify what I mean by doesn't help the geometry. So if I select those edges right here and I dissolve them, I press Ctrl X, look at the triangle count, 738. Without destroying the topology, I have eight triangles less. So if you want to go anal about that, you can do that. (726), 700, without destroying the topology. I hope you understand when do you need a certain face somewhere, or triangle, better said, because the video card is going to be seeing triangles, not faces. You can like really go low poly on this stuff, and most likely you can have the whole thing under 400 polygons, 400 triangles. And this is another one of those examples. I'm gonna do it with one room, so you understand exactly what I mean by being anal about what's going on. Let me find a small one right here, this one. So this is being unnecessarily anal about it. So select the top vertex, go to the corner of the door, press J to join it, and then go to this corner and this corner, press J. Then you select edges, this. I'm gonna try to figure out, no, we do not have that. This. As you can see, the room is perfectly fine. The topology is perfectly straight, but we just eliminated another 12 triangles or something like that from what we needed to. Again, you can go crazy if you want, but most likely, unless you're working for as a game developer, nobody is gonna give a shit about extra 50 triangles. But if you want to do it, I'm telling you, it's doable. Like so. So this is a perfectly, topologically speaking, it's a perfect room right here, this one right here. And we are at 1 hour and 3 minutes in. It looks a bit unnatural because the ceiling is kind of high. Let me cut the ceiling, all right? Let me cut the ceiling. So I press number 5 on the numpad, and I'm gonna be using the knife tool to cut the ceiling, a horizontal line to cut the ceiling. So I'm in edit mode, and I'm looking at the front orthographic view. You get that by pressing number 5 on your numpad, and you can switch as long as you're looking from the side, not from the bottom or from the top, from the side. You should be good. So press K key on the keyboard. You're gonna see a knife icon, and press X. So you limit the cut to the X axis, and then press C. You're gonna be seeing here what it says cut through. If you press C, it says on. That means you're gonna again, you have to move the mouse at the end of the geometry, otherwise it will not know where to stop, or will stop in a different place will execute the cut into a place that you do not need it to be. So from this edge, press K, C, move the mouse all across, and press just click, and then press enter. And you cut the shell all the way through, and we're gonna be using the same. Do not deselect it, just keep it the way it is. We're gonna be using this edge right here to create additional geometry to create the ceiling. So press B, shift control B to bevel. Just keep in mind, being mindful about how thick this wall is. Kind of want to keep it kind of consistent if you can with the thickness of everything. And we I'll show you this technique. This is one way of doing it if you have additional room on top. So this is, you can call this one level. If you have multiple levels, the next technique I'm going to be showing you is going to be ineffective, but it's going to be effective on this for this example. So you still have those faces selected right here, and to make sure that you have them selected, just move the stuff like that, and you can press delete faces, go back to fisheye view, press number 5 so you can see inside. You can press number 2 to select edge, and then hold Alt to select all across, like loop select, right? And press F. Double create the ceiling for the room, and from outside it's going to look like that. Let me do it again for this room and this room. Right, I left this one on purpose last because it's a bit weird as in for the initiated to just create a loop. This may, if you not have the perfect topology, perfectly straight walls, or you have extra vertices at one of the cuts, this will not close. Now, I do not know exactly what's going to happen, but this should close perfectly. Which means I do not perfectly means the merged edges will not bleed into the other rooms. That means I do not my topology is perfect, and I do not have to worry about any of that stuff. But since the moment you export to game format, this will create create additional triangles. And then if I do not tell Blender, I do not want you to create extra triangles in the way you think it needs to be. I'm going to dictate exactly where you're going to create the triangles. So I like to manually go and create some join some vertices so I can have control over how many triangles. And again, this is a almost perfect. Of course, this bothers me, but I'm not gonna. This edges right here, there's absolutely no reason for them to be here. And And as you can see, the topology is still perfect. Like so. Well, that's it. This is the tutorial. This is how you create a perfect interior shell, topologically speaking. And let's see if I can, because I was about to tell you about the second technique. Um, let me undo what I've done so I can show you the other stuff. So we'll go back all the way back to, you don't have to do this, just watch me do it. So we go back right before I cut the top right here. So save. We can select the top faces right here, one by one. If you model low poly like I suggest you should do, you should not have a whole lot of faces to select and have to deal with. Let me see if I can actually do that. No. Yeah, yeah. For this particular instance, it's better to use the knife tool instead of. So what I was planning to do is to extrude. So press E, Z, extrude a little bit outward, and then take the inside faces like so, and delete, and then faces, and then take the bottom edge and press F. So that way you get the same results, but since we have so many rooms in here, the knife tool was just faster. But this is another legit technique where you can use the top faces to extrude upward a little bit, so create additional, like right here, so you create an additional lip over over the what you had, and then loop select all the faces around and delete them, and from the edge, exposed edge that you have, just merge them. And that's how you do that. Uh, that's pretty much it, and I hope this explained to you how you can create a perfect shell with how many rooms in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rooms in under 1 hour. Of course, for you it's going to be longer because you have to pause and do and pause and do and pause and do. Probably it's going to be for you like 4 or 5 hours, but you got a perfectly sound technique on how to create from floor plans you can find on the internet, how you can create your own interior. And of course, as you can see here, if you go to those, some of them actually have, it will tell you where to put the sofa, where to put the ATV, where to put the stairs or flowers or the toilets or whatever. And when that's done, pretty much your stuff is going to look like this right here. If you use vanilla props to populate your interior with stuff, it's going to look like that if you remove the top. And that concludes this tutorial. Thank you all very much for watching. Bye.